Heyo YouTube, I'm the War Mumbler, and today we're going to be playing some Hearts of Iron 5. Alright, so let's get straight into it. We're going to go to a new game. I'm going to be playing on the 1st of January 1936, and we're going to be playing as Germany. I know Germany is a common fraction that a lot of people like to play as Germany, but I wanted to show you guys how I go through a campaign today. So it's going to be a walkthrough campaign, guys. I'm going to do a walkthrough campaign for you. We're going to do this really fast pace. I'm going to try to keep the fast forward button on as often as I can. And who knows, later on, if you guys like this video, then I'll play another fraction. I'm not going to play on Elite today. I'm actually going to play on Veteran. Just because it kind of helps me show you guys things quicker. And, I mean, let's just be honest, guys. I'll get more political points quicker. My researches will finish up faster. I feel like I could give you guys a better video on it. I mean, maybe if you guys upvote my videos, hey, I can play an Elite for you guys if you want. But today it's just going to be on Veteran. We're going to play on Ironman mode, so there'll be no saving involved, and it's going to be on historical settings because I'm a huge fan of history. Alright, let's get into it. We're going to play, what do you want to call this, guys? How about Germany was first, you win and you die? Let's create a new name. Now, I kind of like you win if you die. To me, that's like Game of Thrones, guys. I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones, by the way. You know, take the throne, either play the game and win or you die trying, that kind of thing. Alright, so, the first thing I want to talk about is, let's say construction. Yeah, we'll do construction first. So, I like to look at my provinces and kind of see generally what my fraction has, you know, how they're doing. And the next thing I like to look at is infrastructure. And you can see that the German fraction has excellent infrastructure because these numbers right here is 6 out of 10. So I would say that 5 or 6 out of 10 and plus. You want to keep all your infrastructure. I mean, if the starting infrastructure is like that, guys, then I'm not going to fool with infrastructure for a long time, okay? And my national focuses as Germany will actually give me a lot of infrastructure, so I'm just not gonna mess with infrastructure. I'm gonna actually develop. I'm gonna do something really weird. I'm gonna start developing military factories and refineries right off the bat for two reasons. The biggest reason is because of the MFO bills. The MFO bills provides like additional construction speed by 25% for all buildings except for the big one, guys, and that's civilian factories. And the reason why I say civilian factories is the big one, because civilian factories, in my opinion, is equally as important as military factories, if not more important than military factories. And here's why. These suckers right here, these factories, civilian factories, yes, they provide me with trade, so let's go ahead and use some civilian factories because I'm low on oil, guys. I'm negative 16 oil, so I'm going to go ahead and trade with Russia because in time I do plan on being an ally with Russia. Alright, so what I was saying, though, is that I'm using my civilian factories, which I got 29, to gain additional resources from other countries. So I'm trading civilian factories for resources. Yes, I think everyone knows that's kind of common knowledge. Most people know this. If you don't, well, now you know. I'm also going to have to get some rubber here, so just for a second I'm going to unpause it just because I want to see if the resources pan out. Okay, they panned out. And I'm going to lower the tungsten because I'm already got too much tungsten going on. But what I was saying was the civilian factories do one more thing that's very important. So just as an example, let's say I click on that, click on that, click on that. Okay, so you can see the little bitty bar right there, how it's moving, and that little bar, how that's moving. That means that these two buildings are currently under construction at the same time. Now, if I had more civilian factories, then it wouldn't be just these 2 slots. It could be 3 slots or 4 slots. Basically, the more civilian factories I got, did I say military earlier? I meant civilian. The more civilian factories I got, the faster my construction speed will be. So that is why it is important to have a lot of civilian factories from the get-go. Now, Germany is weird because I'm not going to actually start developing my civilian factories from the get-go. I'm doing my military factories, guys, because like I was saying earlier, the MEFO bill does not give me bonuses towards civilian factories from the get-go of the game until I go to war. When I go to war, I'll start doing other things, but for now, I'm just going to have to pile on the military factories. So, and refineries, because Germany has no oil. I don't think I have any refineries anywhere. I don't think. Let's see. No, I don't. Alright, so I'm going to leave these slots up here in the northern side. I'm going to leave those with a couple extra slots because I plan on putting those Navy bases in time. Except for this one over here. Let's go ahead and start constructing on this side. So I'm going to put two of these, 2 refineries, and 1 military factory. And then the rest of it will be dockyards, but I don't need dockyards right now because I do plan to go to war with Spain. I plan on participating in the civil war they got going on. So I'm going kind of fast-paced here, guys. I do apologize. Let me explain this more in depth in a second. But what I'm doing, basically, I'm clicking on this province, and I can see that, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 construction slots. I won't get these construction slots right here until I have developed more infrastructure. Currently, it's 6 out of 10 infrastructure, and with each passing infrastructure, I'll gain access to 1 more construction slot. I won't get all of them. I think the national focuses will develop more of them in time, but that, you know, that's for later on down the road. But for now, all I got is 6 to mess with. So we're gonna put. I want to leave one slot. I'm gonna leave 1 slot non-used for all of my provinces. So we're gonna do 3 militaries and 2 refineries for this one. All right. So I'm gonna do that with all of them. So let's quickly go through these. I don't want to waste a lot of time with this. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Militaries and 2 refineries, and I'm kind of keeping the pace, guys. If you can see, it's like refinery, military factory, refinery, military factory. I want to keep that pace as much as possible. You can develop 2 structures at one time. So over here, I'm actually doing 3 refineries. A little bit different right there. Well, that's filled up. But the reason I want to do that is because, you know, you're gonna be developing 2 buildings at one time. So that's pretty much the whole reason right there. This one I'm gonna do 4 and. Dang, I should do 5? I didn't mean to do 5. I did, didn't I? Alright, well, we'll do 1 refinery. I meant to do just 4, but 5's fine, and I'm not going to go back and do it. Alright, so let's do 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. Alright, that's good. Over here, what do we got? Just 4? 3 to mess with? 3. Oh, wow, only 3. Okay, so let's do 1, 2. And then, I'm looking at this one actually. That's good. That's good right there. All right, so what do we got for that one? I'm almost done, guys. I'm not too far off now. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Leave that one be. Then we're gonna do let's do 3 and 1. So 1, 2, 3 militaries, 1 refinery, and. All honesty, when it comes to the front line, and I consider this the front line to the enemy's territory, I don't want to put my military factories there, because if I did that, then I would stand a chance of losing my military factories when the enemy invades. I just got kind of sidetracked just now. I apologize about that. All right, so hold on. 1, 2, 3. What the heck? I clicked on the wrong button. I meant to click on that one. So I'm gonna do refineries right there. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna max it out actually. I'm not gonna fool with it anymore. Alright, so over here we got 4 slots. Let's do 2 refineries and 1 military factory. And I think we're gonna leave the rest of the territories alone because, alright, that territory doesn't have anything going on in it. So let's go ahead and put some military factories into 1 and 2. I'll put 1 back on that. And we'll put 1 on each of these, but that should max it. Oh, max that last one out. That last one I'm gonna delete. Alright, so we're done with construction for now. You guys can see I got a pretty long construction list. It's going to be busy for quite a while. Alright, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's just all refineries and all military factories, and that's because we have no oil. We need oil. Alright, let's go straight into the research slot. Germany is fortunate that we have 4 research slots from the get-go. I don't think any other country gets that. I like to start off with electronic engineering. So we'll do this tab first. Doesn't really matter which tab I click first, but anyway. Construction, because this will increase the construction speed by 10%. Then we're going to do a basic machining tools, because this will increase the output of my industries, factories. And then for the last one, because I plan to be going to war with Spain, I'm actually going to the Grossdocker. I'm going to give it the SPG rounds. So it's going to be an artillery tank. It's only going to take 54 days to complete. As a general rule of thumb, guys, I just want to get this out there and open. I don't like developing on any of my technologies that do not have bonuses towards the completion time. What I mean by that is, for example, over here in the land doctrine, I mean, I plan to be going to war, right? But this takes 327 days to complete. I'm not going to touch that until I have 2 things, or at least 1 thing out of 2. I'm not going to touch that until I have this guy here or that guy there, because those are going to reduce the time it takes to complete that by 10% or 7%. Or if I completed my national focus for army innovation, which Here's my national focus tree. Here's army innovation, because that's going to cut the time to complete that by 50%. Okay? So that's my general rule of thumb when it comes to all technologies. If I can reduce its time without actually investing into that research slot first, then I'm going to do that. For now, though, we're going to go with the 4-year plan. Right after I complete the 4-year plan, I'm actually going to do army innovation. And I'm doing that second because I'm planning to be going to war with Spain. I'm doing this one first because this one contributes to construction speed of infrastructure and refineries. So it's going to give me 10% bonus towards those and a 50% reduction to the time it takes to complete industry technology, which in industry technology is this section right here. And that's the section I'm going to be going down, guys. I choose this section over that section almost every time, just a general rule of thumb. Alright, so let's get straight into the factories. So what do we got going on here? We got infantry equipment, we got support equipment, artillery. You guys can see the just. We need to add heavy tanks, and when my 64-day research completes, I'm actually going to change this to the other tank that I had in there. I'm going to put it as a priority over the Panzer. Heavy tanks. I do not plan to use a whole lot of heavy tanks, but I am gonna need those developing quickly because there's none in the stockpile. So we're gonna put 1 slot for those. I'm gonna give it 2 slots for the light tank. I'm gonna give it 1 slot for the motorized vehicles. We're gonna, in time, guys, I plan to win this war by having dominant air superiority. So we're gonna want the fighters, but I'm not gonna put anything towards them yet. I'm not going to use any close fighters because I plan to have dominant tanks in combat, and I'm not going to use tactical bombers for the same reason. I plan to have a very strong army that does not need air support when it comes to ground attacking. So that means basically, guys, what I plan to do, and I guess since I'm talking about this, I'll go ahead and run through this real quick. To win this war with Germany, let me get a drink. Applause, guys. Drum roll, please. To win this war with Germany, I'm planning to use strategic bombers, heavy fighters, and then regular fighters, and a little bit of naval bombers. No tactical bombers or close air support is going to be used at all. My reasoning for that is because I need the heavy fighters and the fighters to dominate the air. That's just a given. Heavy fighters are the only thing that could take out tactical bombers or strategic bombers that the enemy has, if they have any. Specifically the strategic bombers, because these things have excellent defense versus the fighters. The fighters hardly do anything to them. They just dominate the air. And the reason I want strategic bombers is because I want to do damage to the infrastructure. Okay, the strategic bombers can damage the enemy's buildings in all their provinces and territories. And I'm going to target the infrastructure specifically because that's the backbone of the economy. Okay, so we're going to start developing strategic bombers. Later, when my air innovation completes up, I'm not going to even touch these until my air innovation completes up, both of those, by the way, because it's going to reduce the time it takes to complete them by, like, I don't know, 50 or 75%, something like that. So for now, we're just going to develop the fighters and the strategic bomber and start getting those in the production. So let's see here. We got fighters. Let's go ahead and add strategic bombers. I'm going to put those second to the fighters. Fighters is the priority. I'm going to go up the list real quick here. I'm going to put the support equipment. It is very important, support equipment. I'll put it at 4. It's not going to be that important at the moment. And for artillery, I'll put it at 2. Because at the moment, those aren't going to be that important. They're very important. It's not right now for my invasion of Spain. Or I call it invasion of Spain. For my support in the Spanish Civil War. Alright, the Navy I'm going to leave be. I'm not going to even touch it. There's no point touching it. I don't see any point. I'll go ahead and start putting these military factories towards here because these are the lowest in a priority. Those will fill up before these fill up. So, you know, I don't have to worry about these filling up too soon, basically. So that's completed. We are going to start a template, and we're going to start training up some Panzer units because I plan to send 2 Panzer units to Spain, and they're going to be under Ronald. And we'll get into the editing of these of this template later. I need to work on my army experience now. So let's go ahead and start training up some units so I can start developing that army experience. Now the cool thing about Germany, and I'm going to unpause it. I don't need this pause no more, guys. I don't need that pause at all. The cool thing about Germany, let's go and get my general, is that all my units start off with a maximum rank. They're all regulars. But it doesn't matter because I need the army experience, so I gotta train up anyway. So we're gonna give this general because he's strong with attack. Well, actually, guess I could show you guys this real quick, but look at this right here. His skill is 4 in attack, 3 in defense, 4 in skill, and 2 in supply consumption. So he is a 4-star general. He's a really good general for attacking. He has a couple of characteristic traits that are nice. Obviously, the leader details. I can't add any more characteristic traits to him yet. But I feel like I got to get more and more into this every time I start talking about these guys. Dang. But let's see. Do I got him selected on a? Yeah, there he is. So he's a harsh leader, so that it gives additional attack. He's cautious, so the playing speed's reduced, but the chance of him being wounded is minus 50%. I'm not gonna go through that option with all of you guys. I just want to show you that, so that way you guys can understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying the personal skill levels. All right, so let's go ahead and set an offensive line. I'm gonna run it through the entire territory of what's the name of this country? This is the country I'm gonna invade next, by the way, guys. Austria. This is Austria. Okay. So we're going to be invading Austria after I feel like all the construction is done that needs to be done, and when I'm well and comfortable and ready for World War II. Well, not World War II per se, but when I feel like the MFO bill has it's passed its course. So MEFO bill, that's how it's pronounced. Let's go ahead and grab the rest of those units. I zoomed out way too far just now. And there we go, I grabbed them all. And we can unpause this game. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the next general. Right click, left click, way up here. I'm actually going to put Maximilian. He's a great general for attacking as well. So let's go ahead and draw up a front line. So it's left click and hold down right. Boom, 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 boom. I'm only going to give him about half this territory to occupy, because I plan to have Ronald and the rest of the territory. I really don't like the zoom function right now. It's just driving me a little bit crazy. I'm going to have him invade. Oh my gosh, I feel like I drew that bad. Really bad. It'll work though. I'm not going to go back and change it. It'll work because Ron was going to be the one to end up taking the capital and ending the war. Alright, so I need to get on this oil production, so we'll just go ahead and max it out. Oh god, I'm using up a lot of oil right now. So I'm using up a lot of civilian factories to get this oil. Alright, I'm trading with Russia. I think I already explained this, but I'm trading with Russia as much as possible, because I do plan on being an ally with them, for a while at least. In time, guys, I plan on taking Russia out as well. You know we got to. We're a fascist country. Fascism believes in domination, so... now, this is complaining about the template. It's saying, you got no template. It's talking about the heavy tank. Because we're developing heavy tanks and we currently don't have any army experience, I can't develop a template. But let's go ahead and get talking into this while we're in the template. So... where to start? There's a lot to explain. So over here in the support section, recon and engineering, those are, like, in my opinion, the most important support icons that you could have developed. The third most important icon would be, in my opinion, it's going to be the field hospitals, because the field hospitals keeps your units at the ranks they're at. It keeps them alive, keeps them healthy, and increases their hit points. And on top of all of that, probably most important, is it keeps your manpower up. Okay? I mean, if your manpower gets too low, you can't recruit any units. Like, if that drops at 1.30 million, that's how much manpower I got right now. If that gets down to 0, I'm not screwed, because I can change my politics to where I could recruit more, like right over here. I can change the law to extensive conscription, so that way I can recruit 5% more of my populace, instead of right now it's only recruiting 2.5% of my populace. And so Germany has 65.54 million. If you look at that tab under total manpower, that's how much that's how many people are in Germany. So obviously I could definitely change that. Like over here, if I use scraping the barrel, then we'll have 25% of the total population is now going straight to the army. So I mean, you know, I could always change the law, but basically, guys, what I'm getting at is, I want to keep as many of my men alive as possible for 2 reasons. One is the manpower reason, obvious reason, and 2, I want these ranks over here. See, these guys are rank 3. I want those ranks to keep going up. I don't want them going down. The more men that die, the more they have to keep replacing the units in my divisions, and those ranks right here drop. They go down. Every time I have to replace units in my army, that drops my ranking, because the new recruits are always crappy rank. So I want these guys to be veteran. I want these guys to be VIPs. So let's get those field hospitals way up in the action. And I'm getting way off topic, I feel like. But So anyway, I'm not going to alter any of this stuff yet, because if I was to alter, for example, the support equipment, then it's going to cost me 10 points to change that to something else, and I don't have the points anyway. Oh snap. I meant to start training these guys up. That was a small mistake, but not a whole lot of time's passed, so that should be okay. So the reason I got them training is so I can start developing an army experience. Alright, so anyway, back to what we was doing. I'm going to put heavy tanks in these 2 slots next, and I want to show you guys this. So look over here at my armor. Armor is currently at 9.1 because we got light tanks. So if I clicked on 1 heavy tank, that jumped to 30.1, and it's because now it's using the armor rate of the strongest tank I got on the field. And the strongest tank I got is the heavy tank, so it's now using the armor stats of my heavy tank instead of my light tank. And this number will continue to go up with the more tanks that I add, whether it's light tanks or heavy tanks. Like for example, if I had a light tank, boom, it just went up to 30.2 instead of 30.1, so it went up by 0.1. If I had a heavy tank, it went up to 3.7 more. So you can see how those stats work. With the more stuff I add, the more my stats will go up and down depending on, you know, what's getting added. For example, organization. Organization goes down with more tanks I add. So I need to offset that. I need to add something like motorized vehicles or cavalry. I don't think we can add infantry, can we? No, I don't think we can add infantry. I never tried to do it before, so I was just curious. Alright, so the reason you want to add this is because, watch, I don't like this. See, organization is currently at 21, and it jumps to 24.5 if I just added that 1 unit right there. So it increases the organization, and the reason organization is important, guys, is because it determines how long my units will stay in combat. It determines whether they retreat from combat, you know, and I need them to not retreat. Retreating is bad. Do not want them to retreat. So the more organization they got, the less likely they are to retreat from a fight. They're gonna keep fighting and keep pushing. You know, I need them to push the line. It's kind of a big old tug of war battle when you get down to this anyway. I'm not gonna get into the rest of the stats at all right now, except for maybe the combat width. Combat width right now is 14. My golden numbers is 10, 20, and 30. That's my general rule of thumb. I mean, I would like to get that combat width up to 20. And the idea behind combat width, guys, is the more combat width you have, the more powerful the unit is, yes, but the less divisions I can have on the battlefield because it's using up more manpower. Basically, let me slow this down for a second because I want to explain this before that time runs out. Basically, the more of these little slots I fill up, the more units get dedicated to this one division, the bigger that combat width is, and the less divisions I can have. So let's give you guys a really good example and get distracted by this research that just got completed. But let's just say that I had, I don't know, 30 divisions on the field. Okay, 30 divisions on the field, and my combat width was 20 for all those divisions. Okay, if I reduce that combat width to say 10, then instead of 30 divisions on the field, I could have, what did I say, 30 divisions? Yeah, I said 30 divisions. I could have 40 divisions. Okay, it's something like that. So I could have more divisions split up and spread out amongst my territories. I can cover this front with 10 divisions, this front with 10 divisions, this front with 10 divisions, and that front with 10 divisions, theoretically. You know, just to give you guys an understanding of what happens, the advantage to having more combat width and less combat width. Alright, so, wow, what research do we want to go next? I think I'm going to have to go with support. And I'm actually going to go with maintenance for my tank division purposes because it's going to increase the reliability by 5%, the hit points by 1, and the organization by 20. So we're going to do that. And that's what I'm going to attach to them later on down the line. So right now it's just kind of waiting for 2 things. And something I got to keep an eye on, guys, is EMFO build. It's got 124 days before it's completed. I got to constantly click on that button to update it. Otherwise, I'm going to lose that ability, that advantage right there. The 4-year plan is almost completed. The Spanish Civil War has not kicked off, so we're off to a good start. How do you get a drink there? So we are in 1936. World War II started in 1939, but to be honest with you guys, I don't kick off my World War II till about 1940. I mean, I just avoid allying with Italy. I avoid joining fractions with them until about 1940 because they have a bad habit of pulling me into wars with them. and I want to be the one to declare war on France. That way I can be the one to take France once we take France. If Italy declares war on France, they get all of France. If I declare war on France, then I can have a large portion of France, depending on how the war pans out, actually, you know. But if I decide to negotiate with France, then they'll just give me a bunch of territory. So let's see here. That's good. Research has got 45 days left on that research right there. The 4-year plan is almost complete. We are in fast forward, and we only got 2 points dedicated to Army experience, so we're just kind of waiting here. Just so you guys know, this national focus is using up 1 of my political points per day, but you get 2 political points a day. So this uses up half my political points that I would get from the initial start. Hitler himself gives me 25% more political points than other fractions, so that's good. Hold on, I gotta pause this in a second. Okay. Come on, finish up. There we go. National focus is finished. All right, cool. So we're gonna do Army innovation next. So the first thing I want to dedicate my political points to, guys, I'm going to recruit a politician, and I'm going to recruit Rudolf Hess, and that's because he will increase my political gain by 50% more, and then Martin will increase my political power gain by 50% more on top of that. So I want those 2 guys to take up 2 of my political spots, politician spots, and for my 3rd slot, I want it to be this guy here, so that I can increase the construction speed for the military factories. In time, like later on, once the MFO bill is finished, I might switch over to this guy over here, Captain of Industry, because I want to get those civilian factories rocketing way up there as well, and refineries. So, you know, that'd be like down the road though. But those would be my 3 starting politicians I'm going to recruit. And after that, I'm going to start dedicating political points to the Civil War. So I would go with probably this one right here. That would increase the the armor rate, increase the reliability and the speed of my tanks. And then I think we're definitely going to have to start off with Ronald. Go ahead and recruit him as one of my 5-star generals. That way my tanks will be even more superior when I'm invading with my tanks. Then after that, I'll have to go with the industries, these industry selections. That way I can start reducing the time of my research. So I'm still waiting on the Army innovation to complete, and we are definitely recruiting 2 tanks. So far they're doing really well in the recruitment. They're not too far behind. It looks like we're behind in the light tanks production. It's negative 358. That's not good. I might have to dedicate more to it. Infantry equipment is good right now. Support equipment is not. Artillery is not. I'm going to put 1 more to that. And I'm not going to worry about this because it's not. See, the little gray symbols mean that military factories will be placed there when they become available, but there are none right now. So it's only got 2 in it, and it's negative, so I'm not worried about that. Oh boy, I forgot. I almost forgot. I saw that glowing, and I was like, why is that glowing? I'm going to change out the heavy tank for the heavy SP artillery tank, which is the research I was doing earlier. So that's going to give my heavy tanks that additional little buff right there of attachment. And that's like splash damage to infantry, so I want that. Okay, so I think we're good at this moment, you know. This is Spain over here, guys. They're not in a civil war yet, but they're gonna be pretty soon. Oh, I'm gonna show you guys one more thing. I just thought of it. What I like to do is I like to click on that arrow button there, and I'm gonna shift, click, left click, left click, left click all the way down. And what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm gathering up all my planes, and I'm disbanding them. This is not deleting them, okay? This is just putting them in my reserve pool, so that I can place these planes at any of these airports you see dotted across this map here. And I have excellent reasons for that, because let's say that I have this little naval airfield over here, and the only thing I want to have at that airfield, you can see all my selection there, is my naval bombers. There we are. Shift click. And I'm going to tell them to target Navy strikings only. I do not want them on a no-retreat basis. I want them to compete with normal operations, because no retreat just means they're all going to die. I want them to come back for repairs. And then I'm going to right-click into the C-zone. When the enemy comes knocking and they start invading the C-zone, my Navy striking planes, I forgot the name of them. What do they call these things? Naval bombers. Okay, my naval bombers will intercept them and start fighting them. Later on, I'll have my my Navy. I mean, I guess I could technically right now have my Navy start patrolling the sea zones, but it's really not that important at the moment. I mean, I can recruit this guy here, put that admiral in charge. I can start putting all of my Navy that's currently in this dock under his command. So he's got a lot of Navy under his command right now. And then I just tell him, I say, hey dude, I want you to go out there and I want you to search and destroy that sea zone. So now you guys are gonna start seeing now you can start seeing some ships roaming around the sea. Because basically you're searching and destroying for any enemy vessels that are over there, which I'm not at war with anybody, so there's not gonna be any at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that tab off. That's okay. What that tab was basically telling me was like, hey, you got heavy tanks in production, but you're not using them. So that's all it was telling me. I mean, here's the logistics report, guys. This can tell you that I'm going positive. I'm going positives here, and I'm going negatives there. You're just telling me like how much not resources, guys, but how much equipment I have. You know, what equipment's going positive, what equipment's going negative. Boy, I gotta say, guys, you guys are really wearing my voice out. I mean, I'm just talking away, I am. So we're waiting on that political power. We're waiting on us to get up to 150 before I can make my first recruitment. Oh, there we go. Research tab finished up. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Ooh, that's a tough call. I mean, I really want mechanical computing because this will reduce my research time by 3 more additional %. And because we're playing on veteran difficulty, we are like negative something. I don't remember what negative actually. What are we negative? Negative 7%. But I need radio. I really need radio because this will really help out with the reinforcing of my army when we go to fighting in the Spanish Civil War. And I need that now. So radio is next. And then what's next on the list? So we got 106 days. We got 52 days. So these researches are still a ways out. But we're moving at 1 day per second. So we're moving pretty fast in time. I mean, I'm going to keep this on fast forward. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of tinkering with the Panzer Division. Only because I got 7. So in the support artillery section, I'm going to go ahead and equip the heavy SP artillery. 1. I can only afford 1 because it takes 5. I got 7 points, so it's going to take 5 points. So boom, I just recruited that. That increased my division strength with equipping the heavy artillery with them. Alright, Spanish Civil War hasn't kicked off. I believe it will kick off sometime after this, dang, I just forgot. I keep thinking Army Innovation, but this, holy smokes, I forgot what is it called? National Focus. Wow, I forgot the name of that tree. Once this National Focus finishes up, the Civil War should be starting pretty soon. But in the meantime, it's just, we're kind of in a waiting game at the moment. We're just looking around, looking at the pretty country. I really like the looks of, looks like a turtle shell on the back, don't it? That backpack? Look at that. Huh. Some strange looking backpacks they got. See, these guys are training up too. This is Czechoslovakia. So they got some cavalry horsemen. So do we. Our guys are training. They don't even need the training. I guess I go ahead and attach some planes to some of my armies. So let's go ahead and attach, let's say, interior fighters. And I'm going to go ahead and give them this dude right here. Basically, he's an ace pilot. So I'm going to attach the ace pilot to this particular plane set. I'm going to tell it to say interception and air superiority. And I'm not going to put him on the no retreat. And I'm going to right click on this general. So now there's 280 fighters under that general. So he'll control them directly in his combat. So those planes will follow him wherever he goes in the map. As long as there's an air base for them to follow him to it, they will follow him. If I ever want to take him off it, I could him off it just as easy. The planes that are currently in this airport, these are the ones that are under him. I can just right click on another guy. Boom, now they're under that general. See that number change? And now they're back under this general. So if I ever wanted them just to go off into a distance and not be under one of these generals, I can just right click over here. The planes will start invading that area. Alright, so let's see here. That was just a really quick run through for you guys, just over some of the stuff here. I'm gonna give the tactical bombers, oh, I don't know, I can't make up my mind. I don't know. I was considering giving them to this general. I'll go ahead and do that for now. I'll give you the tactical bombers. And I don't like him to have no air superiority. The tactical bombers are going to target strategic bombing. They're going to target close air support. They're not going to be all set for no retreat. Something just happened. The war in Spain just kicked off. And I want to give you a couple of fighters. So, boom. He doesn't have a lot of fighters, but he has some. So, interception, that. Alright, cool. Alright, guys, so we are now going to be entering this war. Currently, the game's on pause. So, this teal color here would be the rebels, I guess you could say. And then this is the faction we're going to support. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a Lend-Lease. And I don't have to have this on pause, so let's go ahead and let it play. I'm going to give him, I already know I'm at war with him, or I know the Spanish Civil War's kicked off. I'm going to give him some infantry equipment, some support equipment, some of that equipment, just all his equipment. But I'm going to give him a lot of infantry equipment, so that should help him keep his armies up, not updated, but, you know, well equipped. Alright, and army innovation is completing, so let's fast forward this so I can get that finished. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Almost. Come on, almost there. There we go. Finished up. Alright, so the next national focus I'm going to do is this one here. This will increase the military factories construction speed, yada yada yada, you get the idea. It's going to take 70 days, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm going to go ahead and have these guys enter the game. So, I mean, there wasn't yet done training, so they're still greenies. Look at that, they got the little 4-leaf clover, 3-leaf clover experience, so they don't have any experience. But they're going to gain it as we're in combat. So we're going to go ahead and say Ronald, and I want to go ahead and change this little emblem there, because I don't like that emblem. Just personal preference there. I could have them start training these guys up, but they're going to actually gain a lot of experience as they're fighting. And I'm going to start getting a lot of army experience as they're fighting. So, I'm going to click on this country, send volunteers, send Ronald. I'm only allowed to send 2 divisions, guys, so he's got his 2 tanks. He'd be good to go. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, actually, I'm going to go ahead and edit this. I'm going to attach 1 more heavy tank, and I'm going to attach motorized infantry. So that's 10 points right there, so I only got 4 points left. So now, I'm going to send him. It didn't really matter, actually, if I did it now or later, but I just felt the need, like I had to have it now. So, I'm going to send him, and he's going to agree, because he needs my help in this war. So currently I can't see what's going on in this war theater, because everything's kind of, you know, blocked out. I can just see these little fights going on here. And it's because I don't have any recon over there yet, so once my army gets over there, I'll be able to see what's going on. This video is going to be ending pretty soon, guys. So I would thank you for your support. If you would vote this video if you like it, that lets me know to continue doing videos like this. If not, then I guess downvote it. I'm not a very popular YouTuber, so you know, it wouldn't hurt me too much if I appreciate honest opinions, guys. I appreciate your honest opinion. Oh yay! I just got 150 political power. So the next thing I'm going to do is recruit Rudolf Hess. That will increase my political power even more. Which, by the way, when this MFO bill does complete, it's going to consume a lot of political power, like 150 to 180. Usually it's like 179 or something like that when I finally decide to go to war. It looks like we're actually winning in this war a little bit. We're doing pretty good over here. I can see the color is shaping in our favor. But my army isn't over there yet. It'll be over there pretty soon. So, these guys, I'm not going to have them train up anymore. There's no point. They're using up resources anyway. They're using up infantry equipment. So I'm going to have them stop training. And I don't have... Oh no! I got 30 days. I completed the MFO build with 30 days remaining. It's important to pay attention to this, guys. It will actually tell you when the MFO build is complete. You've got to complete this if you want to continue getting that buff right there. That buff right there. So that's completed. Good. See, these generals, they tell me they little check mark. Basically, they're saying that the invasion is in our favor and that they're good to go. But here we go. We're ready for this. Right, so I'm going to pause it real quick because I want to get my stuff. I'm going to actually ignore the war that's going on right here, right now, and I'm just going to tell these guys, hey, start me a front line There. Get him over that direction. So let's go ahead and fast forward it to get my tank set over there. And the reasoning I'm coming to this side is I'm going to start taking out his capital, and I want to encircle this huge hole right here. I want all these guys to come entrenched and trapped. So I want to just have my tanks just cut through all this territory and get a surround on them. So that's kind of the general plan though. It's taking these tanks a while to move, ain't it? Ronald is still not with them right now. He's going to take a little longer before he'll be able to come and assist him. But in the meantime, you know, I'm kind of just waiting on my tanks to move across the country anyway. They're moving pretty slowly. You can see the progress right there. Oh, wait a minute. I can actually give Ronald some more abilities here. So let's give him Guerrilla Fighter. His entrenchment speed will be 25% faster. In time, I'll do Panzer Expert, but I won't be able to do that until he gets more experience in combat. Alright, so let's go ahead and draw out the line. Let's say... that looks good. So we'll have him flank in like that. And by the way guys, this is the little button I clicked on earlier. That little button right there. Just for those of you who know. Oh, cool. Pause the game real quick. And a new research we gotta start developing. And I'm gonna go straight to the oil processing because I really need to nip that in the bud. If I can free up the amount of oil I have to trade, then I can start freeing up these civilian factories. And that means that my construction speed will be faster. Alright, so let's go ahead and click on my theater here. He's telling me the invasion is risky. He's not ready to invade. Now he's telling me the invasion is good to go. So I said yes, I clicked on it, so he's gonna start invading. 78%. It looks like we're doing pretty good so far actually. 78% is pretty strong. If I wanted to, I could play with this. I could alter, I could choose what attack command I want to give this army. But I'm gonna let Ronald pick it. Honestly, I don't have the time in the day to always be selecting this, so I always let Ronald, I let the generals make the decisions on that stuff. But if I wanted to, I could pitch in and just start, you know, taking over. I could also give them additional commands, like hold the line or last stand and stuff like that, but there's no need for all that stuff anyway. Not at the moment, I should say. There's no need for that. Plus, I'm not able to do it. I think I need more experience before I can do it. So, 78%. Oh, good God, he's still stuck on 78%. I mean, this is the opposing general over here. This guy, Ricard Malo. And we're only fighting, like, what are we fighting? We're just fighting one infantry division that's heavily entrenched. So, my tank should have no problem running them over. But there's a little delay. We're up to 86. Once that reaches 100, we take his territory. So it's green is good. Green means we're winning. If it turned red, that means we're losing. So it's 86, 88 to green. I'll start giving him pluses in time. Now we're 90. I'll start recruiting generals to start helping out with my army. And recruiting like better factories that can produce better tanks. And this will give my tanks 10% more reliability, 5% more speed, and 10% less research time. So that's the one I usually check off when I check them off. I'm just kind of waiting to see how this pans out, guys. This video is about to end really shortly here. I just want to progress it. Let's see. There we go. We took the territory. Move in, tanks. Move in. Just take a look, see what's going on. So he's moving into that territory. He's gonna move into the next one after that. Boom. Now I'm moving into this territory next. Alright, so that's the plan, guys. We are going to get a surround on all those guys, cut their supply line off, starve them out, and kill them. I know that sounds pretty violent, don't it? Alright, so hey guys, that's all the time I got for this video. So hey, until next time, I'm the War Mambu. Thanks for watching. Bye!